glad to see you all here. We got a room of almost 200 nerds. I'm sure the nerds will pile in. Maybe we can get up to about 300 tonight. We'll see. It's your boy, Jay, in the house. Your boy. Can't see me. We've learned so much. If you've been on the Jay's analysis ride, a lot of you guys are new. I understand. That's cool. Glad to have you here. But some of you have been with me for the long haul. In fact, there are some who've been with Jay's analysis for 10 years, reading it back in the day. And we've come a long way. We've come a long way. All right. Welcome. Thank you. Glad to see you all here. We got a room of almost 200 nerds. I'm sure the nerds will pile in. Maybe we can get up to about 300 tonight. We'll see. It's your boy, Jay, in the house. Your boy. Can't see me.
Welcome to the show. This is Boiler Room on alternatecurrentradio.com. Thank you for joining us for another trudge through the sludge of weekly social and news media. For all you media maniacs out there, all you barfly philosophers, and everybody else, welcome to the show. I'm your host. My call sign is Hesher. Welcome once again back into the boiler room. Here we go. Check us out on the web, alternatecurrentradio.com. You can see our main billboard slider up there for our most recent featured episodes. And of course, our entire showography over at Spreaker.com or on the Spreaker mobile application. Check us out. You can find Boiler Room there. You can find tons of great podcasts there. Many and most of which you will find under the Alternate Current Radio umbrella over there on our Spreaker Pro account. Shows like Sunday Wire. Oh, man, so much going on this week with news in the Middle East, north of Syria, the northern part of Syria, all kind of crazy stuff going on. The mass media cartels are spinning it left and right. They don't know what to do because the situation's changing. They're leaning on emotional aspects of the Kurds. Oh, the poor Kurds and blah, blah, blah. But if you want the master class on that, the real quick master class, check out last week's Sunday Wire with Patrick Henningsen. It was great. And there's also been some breaking news that's happened since Sunday. So I'll link all that on the show page for all interested parties. Check out Sunday Wire. Last week's was a good one, especially if you're curious about what is going on with Turkey, the United States pull out of Syria, and the Kurds and all this crazy stuff going on. Okay, also, we got new episodes of Jay's Analysis up there. Great new episodes of Jay's Analysis coming out every week. Same with Primal Edge Health. Lots of good new stuff coming into the Alternate Current Radio podcast streams. So check us out on Spreaker. And, of course, we're available on all those other big podcasting platforms as well. So wherever you get fine podcasts, you'll find Sunday Wire, Jay's Analysis, Primal Edge Health, Boiler Room, Global Research News Hour, and a few others, plus our great music shows like Primecast. Spore and I were listening to Primecast in the car today. Really cool for you hip-hop connoisseurs. So if you're a hip-hop connoisseur, check out Primecast. And you metalheads, check out Hash and Session, of course, and all the other eclectic radio shows like Anarchy with Spore over here at alternatecurrentradio.com. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome, Spore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am always very pleased to be here.
What do you say we do some intro some of our friends here?
Let's do this, yeah.
All right, let's do this. On the show tonight, first broadcasting live out of Florida from the Jay's Analysis studios, we've got Jay Dyer and Jamie Hanshaw of jaysanalysis.com. Welcome to the show, you guys.
This is not Jay Dyer, this is Osho. Please send your money.
They were there.
The boiler room is big and vast. Sometimes we lose people behind.
Hello. This is not Jay Dyer. This is Osho. Swami Vivekananda, please send your money so can get 20th Rolls Royce.
All right, Osho, great. Okay, it's going to be a very culty night.
I have woman with me. She says tough titties many times. She says tough titties a lot. Woman here.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, Jamie. Good to hear your voice.
Tough titties.
I can't do it.
If you've seen the Osho video, you know his right-hand handler woman, Sheila, she says, tough titties.
You don't like our sex called tough titties.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, and if you haven't seen the Osho movie, you should. It's worth checking out for sure. All right, well, welcome to the show, Jay and Jamie. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Okay, now we'll shift down. We'll go south into Ecuador. Next, we've got Tristan Haggard of PrimalEdgeHealth.com. Welcome to the Boiler Room. Tristan, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Nice to be here. Daughter's about to fall asleep. Little boy just fell asleep. We're just kind of chilling out in the house, relaxing, trying to enjoy a little boiler room.
All right, nice. Okay, cool. Well, welcome to the show. We're stoked you're able to join us tonight. And let's go to, well, we're going to head west now. We're going to go to occupied territory in California. His name is Randy J. Randy J., welcome to the Boiler Room. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. Surviving earthquakes, chemtrails, power outages, wildfires, and traffic.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're able to make it tonight, Randy. Glad your power didn't go off. I assume your power didn't go off.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Man, you were in a lucky spot. Okay, cool. Well, good. Welcome back to the Boiler Room, Randy J. And now we will go over to Washington State and welcome Benny Wills of Joy Camp and BennyWills.com and the Benny Wills YouTube channel back into the Boiler Room. Benny, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's good to be back. Sorry for my long delay. It's been a busy couple of months.
That's all right. We know you've been busy, and we can't wait to catch up, get the audience caught up on what you've been doing and all that stuff. Glad to have you back on the show.
It's great to be back.
All right, excellent. And that leaves, you've already heard her voice, but let's give her the old Boiler Room hello, my lovely co-host, the DJ Mastermind of Anarchy with Spore, the other half of Alternate Current Radio over here in the studio tonight. Lovely Spore, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. Well, how are you?
I'm ready to do an icebreaker.
Really? Okay, I don't even know what it is tonight. So
Yeah, you do.
I do?
We
Okay.
talked about this.
All right, I do know what it is then. So, Spore, what are we breaking ice with tonight? What's our first topic?
So this is actually brought to us by our longtime listener and good friend, Creative Accidents.
What up?
This is I get a lot of suggestions for icebreakers throughout the weeks, and this one just is so weird to me that I had to do it. So thank you, Creative Accidents. This article is out of medium.com, which I'm not very familiar with, but from what I could tell from source linking, this is actually true. And this is from early September. The American Red Cross uses gender identity and not birth sex to determine blood donor eligibility.
Weird.
Okay, so
I have so many questions already.
Yes. Yeah, and we went through a lot of these earlier when we were talking about this. And so, first of all, why are they asking what your gender is? Well, there are several reasons, I guess. There's a certain type of demographic that you might come from that could make you more likely to be prone to have HIV.
Statistically,
yes. And that could be intravenous drug use. It could be gay males often have it more often than females. Recent tattoos, things like that. So I was wondering, because I used to donate blood, and I know that it used to be like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, if you were, how do I say this? If you needed to have your blood checked for anything, you could just go donate blood, and they would let you know. You would get sent a letter if there was something off in your blood. So I was wondering why, if people are donating blood, they test everything before they use that blood to donate it to somebody and have it used during a surgery or an accident or things like that.
right? Like, why isn't this perfect if they're screening it the way we've all been brought up to believe it's being screened?
Yeah, exactly. So it turns out that HIV is, it's like latent. Is that the right word? I think it is.
It can lay dormant.
It can lay dormant. There
once
you go.
it's been passed.
Yeah.
From what we read today.
For a short amount of time. So they say, like, when you're donating blood, if you are one of these types of people, then you should not donate blood for a year, because we can't actually see if your blood might have HIV in it or possibly other things.
But that's like on the honor system already as it is, because there's no way to like verify that, to know that. So there's like basically a a group that is statistically more dangerous that they essentially don't want blood from in certain situations, right?
Right. So from the FDA guidelines, they say in the context of the donor history questionnaire, FDA recommends that male or female gender be taken to be self-identified and self-reported. Okay.
So we're already working with an honor system that's a little bit sketchy, maybe a lot sketchy actually, and now we're adding a whole new level of variability to this.
Yes.
Like we're taking away a key attribute that is used in the statistical analysis for risk assessment because we're told it's not politically correct to think about biological male-female sex.
Yeah, exactly. So basically the FDA is saying that it doesn't matter what you actually are, what your chromosomes are, or who you are to be donating blood, and that you can just identify as whatever you want to, and then we'll just take that as to be a truth, and then we'll use that blood to help people that are on life support or whatever emergency that they might be in.
Wow.
This is crazy. I mean, this is where I was wondering, when is this weird postmodernism going to get us to the point where we start having medical and biological just self-destructive things? I mean, I understand that the identification issue itself is a problem, but when they start mandating this and it starts affecting everyone else, when you start denying these things, you know, when we talked about languages which have gender within the language, what about when it spills out into sharing blood, right? This kind of stuff. I mean, you can't get away from these kinds of objective truths in biology so easily. So it's a war on reality, and if society continues to go down the trek of madness, it's going to make everything collapse. And I guess that's by design. I don't know what else to say.
It's a total war on reality. That's a perfect way of saying it. It's saying that whatever you think in your mind or whatever you want to say at the time is more truthful than the actuality of your XY chromosome.
Yeah.
Magical thinking, yeah.
Right. Just amazing.
It's a way of programming the population and being super mentally ill. They hold all these beliefs that are completely contradictory at the same time. It's just they're creating like a schizophrenic breakdown in all of society,
right?
So that it can be reformatted and reprogrammed and restructured. So it's you create as much chaos as you can, and people will accept a reality that they wouldn't have accepted previously after all that chaos and confusion. And whether that confusion is created through, I mean, it could be anything. It could be, natural disasters, migration crises, tyrannical military dictatorships, police repression, or ritual trauma, ritual magic. I mean, it's the same principle of scattering and disordering somebody's psyche and consciousness, and then reintegrating that and shaping it how you want.
Yeah,
and that's what they want with all of society. And that's the whole MK Ultra thing.
Alchemical breakdown and rebuilding.
Order out of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute nonsense.
Yeah,
to be accepted as real. And I mean, not to get all conspiracy guy on it, but HIV itself is questionable, and what it actually is, and its origins, and whether or not it's actually even a virus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole deeper conversation that is being had by those that are really, really looking into that topic. So it's just layered. It's like there's meta layers of conspiracy and propaganda and social engineering.
Yeah. What about the Red Cross? Has anybody looked deeper into the Red Cross and what they do? And I'm not too familiar. What's up with them, Jay?
They are. I mean, there's like most of those kinds of entities. They have a history of doing real stuff, obviously, and coming out of the different wars and providing aid and assistance to people in war. But they also have been used for intelligence operations, as you might expect. So USAID is another similar type of thing where people have gone undercover to utilize USAID in other countries as a CIA front, this kind of stuff. And I think there's been similar accusations. I'm not sure if it's 100%, but I mean, it's kind of common sense that the CIA would use something like.
the Red Cross as well as a front, as a cover. And also, I've always suspected, I haven't proven this, but I always thought, even back to high school, there's something weird about giving blood. I've never done it. I would never do it. I just think it's bizarre. And come to find out, I think around 2004 or 5, I learned about the Pentagon's DNA programs where they have been taking babies' DNA from birth. That's the reason that you get your baby toe pricked and they take your blood. It's actually stored in Pentagon database. And I heard that originally from Alex many years ago, and then it actually came out in mainstream news. I think it was on CNN, maybe 2011, 12, somewhere in there. They actually admitted it. But I'd heard it about 10 years earlier. So I think...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I mean, if U.S. intelligence, all you need is a couple guys or a backdoor into something like the Red Cross. And the Red Cross, it has so much information, so many people's blood, and it's in every country, right? So it's just funny, like in South American countries, a lot of these Red Cross, they like do franchise type stuff. Or like, there's like a guy I know, he also owns a little house with a small capilla in it, and it's like a little Catholic church, and he's kind of connected with some lawyers and stuff, and he's like this kind of like Jesuit, I don't know if he's a Masonic, but there are quite a few Freemasons that are in these kind of circles. And anyways, he like works with the Red Cross and does these special programs with the Red Cross. It seems like that's a great place to infiltrate and get a lot of information. It's a great cover,
exactly. Just like missionary work has been a classic cover for intelligence work, as has, as we said, USAID, NGOs, fronts, all that kind of stuff. And then, like you said, Tristan, Red Cross is a classic as well.
And to piggyback on what you were saying a second ago, Jay, about blood donations, I heard that the amount of blood they receive from donations far outweighs what is actually needed in blood transfusions.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. Where is this stuff going?
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
It's to feed the vampires. It's just Angelina Jolie is guzzling this shit like Powerade.
I wouldn't be surprised.
She's downing like gallons of this shit at night.
Well, what's his name? Peter Thiel has admitted that he drinks blood.
Actually, I think there's some truth to this. The elite do, some of them do this. No joke. Yeah.
That was one of those conspiracies that was proven to be true.
Yeah.
The blood drink.
Yep, I remember talking about that. I also remember when Spore brought us the remember the Ellen DeGenerate show, and she had Sandra Bullock on, and they were talking about how her facial cream is made of like foreskins or something like that.
Foreskins.
Like South Korean foreskins.
Like, where'd you get those?
This stuff's been going on for so long, it's crazy. I was reading, like if you read some of these books by the chroniclers who came to South America in the 1500s, 1400s, and traveled around, they talk about some of these groups that they met in some of the areas around the Amazon, and there was a lot of cannibalism in a lot of these areas. Mm-hmm. And the war chiefs, the head of these groups would usually have human heads all around his tent, his house, human heads all around. Really gruesome scenes that he describes. But some of the practices that they were doing, like, you don't even want to say some of these things. They're so horrible. I mean, he's writing about he's this guy Ciesa de Leon. He's one of the best, the most historically legitimate chroniclers, and he writes about these guys doing live abortions at 9 months, like very, very late in the term, and eating the baby and the woman, and like in having farming women for them. So this stuff, we're not that far away from this. And we got scientists openly saying we need to go back to cannibalism. We need to people have said that there's an evolutionary basis for cannibalism, because look, our evolutionary ancestors did it. The Aztecs had this highly advanced society. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe we should bring this back. And now they're saying there was a scientist who said, there's a Swedish scientist, I think, or Swiss or Swedish, and he said we maybe should start eating human beings. I think we might have even talked about this.
I found the old article, and it was it's from E. I'm sure it was in other outlets as well, but Billy Bob Thornton explains why Angelina Jolie wanted to wear a vial of his blood around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Save the cows, eat the humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Eat the people, eat the bugs.
It's just so crazy how it's becoming so blatantly obvious. You first start to see this stuff, you're like, shit, this is like a huge human sacrifice cult. And now it's, they're really trying to push this out.
Eat the poo-poo. Right. Like that. Viral YouTube, that
Yeah.
YouTube video.
Well, the other thing is that, I mean, just the whole like you self-identify your biology rather than your biology, which identifies itself. Like, I mean, I could go into donate blood now and be like, yeah, I'm a B plus, and I actually am.
Yeah,
like,
can you self-identify your blood type?
Well, what if you get
like,
what if you get an STD? Can you just self-identify as not having it?
Yeah.
like I self-identify as an O, and
Dude, I got
Yeah, I'm
it.
O
I got
negative,
it.
and I definitely don't have gonorrhea.
All of
Never
us.
go out.
Hey, I got it. All we got to do, all of us, is self-identify as having some kind of condition and get a government check.
Oh.
How
What do you
can they
think?
say
Well,
we don't have it?
nobody's ever done that one, Jay.
I've heard this tactic before.
My condition. Now we'll have to roll around in boomer scooters for the rest of our life, but we'll get everything paid for. We'll get everything paid for.
Could be a free
There
ride.
could be worse fates. Randy J, what do you think, man?
I think that all these different eras and stuff have names, post-industrial, post-modern. I think we've reached post-reality. Like reality doesn't matter no more. Reality's optional.
Yeah. Yeah, game over, man. Reality's overrated. It blows. You can be anything you want. You can have or not have any disease you want. Just, anything you want. It's a Walt Disney World. You just wish it. And it's there.
Exactly. As long as it's automated, which is what Disney World is all about. I saw you were just there, Jay, and I was also there about 3 weeks ago, and they're definitely pushing that transhumanist AI automated future. Hard.
Yeah. I'm going to do a video on it.
Hard. Did you go to Epcot?
We went to Epcot last year and got some footage there to do
that's
a
right.
video.
You
And this
talked
time
about
we
Yeah.
did Avatar. We wanted to see what James Cameron's thing was all about. We were going to do... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, did you like the Avatar ride?
Yeah, what was it all about?
Yes, it was awesome. Well,
Was there like an overpopulation theme to it or something?
Yeah,
Well,
it's all environmental
Conservation.
theme, yeah. I mean, that movie is about that, so yeah.
Well, first we
I-
went to the Star Wars part.
Yeah, which was gay.
Fake. And,
Totally.
Fake and gay, yeah.
Yeah. And it,
Like,
Yeah.
like space is fake and gay, so is Star Wars.
would you say over half the rides they had this time were virtual reality?
Yeah, the rides are turning into just sitting there and
That's-
it's VR, yeah.
Exactly what I was just going to comment on too. It's just both those rides, Avatar and the Star Wars, which are like the new popular cutting edge rides. It's just you sitting in front of a big screen. I thought it was kind of
that's so
fun.
stupid. That's
but-
so your seat shakes and stuff, and they like
Yes.
spit things on you.
Yeah, remember the old things in the mall in the 80s when you go sit in that big box in the
Just like
mall
that.
and it's like...
They
it's
had
like
Star Tours
Yeah.
at Disneyland back in the day. Star Tours, and that's
Dude,
what that was.
Star Tours blows this new ride out of the water. This
Star
new
Tours
Star
was
Wars ride
ridiculous.
sucked. It sucked.
Dude, they don't even make roller coasters anymore at Disney.
one
They don't
of
do
them-
that.
There's one good roller coaster.
No, tell them about the one where you have to push the buttons and be the pilot or the gunner.
But it was lame.
And the kids, there's
didn't
6
like
of
it.
you at a time in this thing, and it's like you're the pilot or the gunner or the engineer or whatever. And there was a family of 4 plus us 2 in the back, and the kid was he had to pull the thing for the light speed, to go into hyperdrive.
I remember
And
it.
when
Yep.
things are lighting up, we have to hit all the stuff. And when the ride's over, the kid wipes his head. He was like, "That was stressful."
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Like,
I relate.
"Oh, that was stressful."
I let go. I was just hitting the buttons when they were telling me to hit the buttons, and I wasn't experiencing the ride. I was like, this is crazy. Why am I like working while I'm trying to enjoy this?
I know. What did you think, babe?
I just thought it was lame. It was underwhelming.
That was the biggest
Mhm.
one they had for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't even get into the cantina that do 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't get in?
No,
That was
the
actually my
line
favorite
was,
part,
way
was
too
to have a-
long.
it was
I
too
wanted to
strange.
go in there, but
Yeah, I did enjoy the cantina and the weird drink that I ordered. But other than that, it was the whole experience, honestly, my biggest takeaway from Disney World, because I went to all 4 parks in 2 days, was that,
when was that?
and this it was about maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
But my biggest takeaway was that that Disney is evil, pure evil.
Well, yeah.
It's just an evil place. An
Well-
unsurprising conclusion, but it like confirmed it.
Yeah.
It's just because I never experienced anything like it. I didn't know what Disney World was like, but the fact that it's so isolated and that he bought
Hi, I'm
47
Mickey Mouse.
miles, you really can't escape.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just the way that they overprice everything and the food they give you and the way that, I don't know, you see the people who are like eating it up.
Lines and just
target
sitting in
audience.
lines all day is so dehumanizing. There's just everything about it. It's horrible.
Making dreams come true. I don't know, everything about it's just really sad to me. It's really sad. And it was
My mom had a friend in high school who was stabbed to death in Disneyland. He was one of the first people to ever die at Disneyland. He got stabbed in line. And just a scuffle with some drunk guy pulled out a knife, stabbed him to death. Horrible.
Wow.
Had
Yeah.
I'm sure the official story probably says that he died at the hospital because Disneyland refuses to acknowledge deaths that occur on the
like-
property.
Yeah, he died at the happiest place on earth. I think that was.
Yeah.
How'd you you have to give your fingerprint with your card to get in.
Oh, I hated it. I hated
And
it.
then if you
I'm
go
trying-
on Avatar, they take a whole biometric scan of your whole body twice.
What?
Well,
Listen, and then you get strapped in this like chair that you have to mount it like you're gonna fly in the back of a bird, and the whole thing squeezes you like one of those blood pressure thingies, and all on your pressure points, and it squeezes your calves and like locks you in. So you
They have a torture
that-
machine and they take
Yes,
a viral.
it squeezes
scan.
me in. I'm like, I don't like this anymore. This is uncomfortable.
It's
weird.
fun.
No, there's no way to
then-
get out. If that thing decided to not let go, you were not getting out of it.
Well, the most interesting thing about it to me was like looking around and seeing the contraption that we were all a part of. I mean, it was like a 4-story ride
Which one are you talking
where
about?
everybody's Avatar.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're all just strapped into this thing, and you look down, and it's we're pretty high up, and it's just 4 stories of people looking at a screen, a simulator.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But Epcot was the
That's
terrifying
probably
part
like
to
the
me.
most evil image you could ever imagine. Too. It's a giant machine gyrating 4 stories worth of people staring at a screen with VR stuff, beaming
And
a at them that they pay for.
No, and
They
then
eat a bunch of shit food all day, like funnel cakes. Everyone's eating funnel cakes.
they stood
just
in line
fat.
for 2 hours average to do this for 5 minutes.
We did.
No, dude,
We
they're
did it though.
eating
We
Mickey
got a fast
burgers.
food.
I wouldn't complain and got a free immediate
Yeah.
step on.
Yeah.
You
Did
know what a
you-
Mickey burger is?
Mickey burger.
Mickey burger. A Mickey burger is
Made of
a
rats.
patty. Yeah, who knows what it's made of? It's a patty with bacon on it, plus macaroni and cheese,
Oh god.
and cheese dust that they put in between a bun, and they brand
Good
the
old
bun
cheese
Mickey's
dust.
face. That's a Mickey burger.
That's so horrible. I grew up in Southern California, and we would, you go to all the theme parks there. There's Knott's Berry Farm, and they used to do a horror theme thing every single year, Knott's Scary Farm.
I love that. I've
And it-
been many times. I used to live
It was
in
the
I
best.
did too. I did too, by the way.
Yeah.
We used
Me
to
too,
try,
they
we used to
Snoopy
go
thing.
and try to scare the people that were in costumes. Like we would hide places where we didn't think that they would think we were, and we would pop out and scare the people that have the chainsaws and stuff. It was pretty
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, all those theme parks though, they're just so weird. There's such a depressing scene. There's just something that's so crushingly depressing about an amusement park. It's so hellish.
Seriously, no joke,
Fake
man.
reality.
Seriously.
I'd take
All the-
Magic Mountain any day.
Where?
Magic Mountains.
I
Pretty
seen the
good.
probably the
Yeah, those-
biggest
they have-
gang
if it has
fight
good
ever at
vibes.
Magic Mountain.
What, Randy?
Wait, you saw a gang fight at Magic Mountain?
Like a huge one. I mean, like probably like 30 on 30 or something.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I was watching it from I don't even know if this thing's there anymore. Colossus, the roller coaster Colossus. I was
Oh
watching
yeah, that
it.
thing was nice. That was a good roller coaster.
Oh, yeah. I
That is
remember
good.
that
That's a
one.
solid roller coaster.
Yeah, and it was I would say it was racial. One side was one ethnicity, the other side was another ethnicity, pretty much. But it was it got out of control. It like spilt out into the line, and it all started with when one dude simply bumped into someone else, and I heard the response was, "Yo, why you giving my homeboy the spell?" What? And then bam, it just started like that, and it just escalated out of control. It was pre cell phone day though. Otherwise, that would have been great to have on camera. Yeah.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
that's a Nick Cage moment.
This is a snakeskin jacket.
You know the.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Oh,
Well, I
no,
was
no,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
say. Thank you. I was just gonna say one of the. You guys talked about the stunning things that just sort of like makes you look at these places and go, oh my goodness. One to me was I remember going to Disneyland as a little kid, and then I went recently. I don't know, 5-6 years ago. As recent as I've been. But anyways, the strollers. There was like, I mean, strollers everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like you couldn't. It was like you couldn't throw a rock in the air without it coming down and landing on a stroller somewhere. I mean, they were just all over the place. And then I always love the most emptiest threat at Disneyland you ever hear. One more time, young man, and we're out of here. One more. It's only 10 o'clock. These kids are already like melting down. You know what I mean? One more time, you, and we're leaving. I promise you. Yeah. They're like, what are you bringing them for? They could barely speak. You know what I mean? And just another thing too. I'll never forget on It's a Small World. There's this little 4-year-old or something, and these parents are grabbing the kid's head, turning it towards the puppets, and say, "Look, look!" And he has nothing. He wants nothing to do with it. He's staring at the ceiling, looking at a tiny little fire, like a fire alarm light that's like barely in the background, blinking really dull. He's looking at that. He could care less about the singing dolls, the lights, the colors. He's looking at a simple little, tiny little, on the ceiling, like trying to be hidden, like a little flashing light by a indoor like fire sprinkler alarm thing or whatever. It was like, but they're trying to force him to look at the freaking dolls and everything like that, and he won't turn his head. It was kind of hilarious.
My biggest memory from going to Disneyland, I went there several times when I was growing up, but I remember like the first major time that I went with my sisters and my mom and my grandma, and my mother had like a wheelchair, so we were lucky enough to get in like the front of the line the whole time, so that was awesome. But it was like walking for 10 hours straight. I remember like my calves cramping up. Like it was like this big, like, you know, at the end of the night, they do that like sort of like a carnival, not carnival. It's like a parade of like
The light
Cinderella
parade.
and
Electric
yeah,
parade or
it
whatever.
was just like I felt like it was hell. Like I was like, I just want to sit down. This sucks. And it was like something I had been waiting for the entire day, but I hated it.
I think it's trippy. Also, I've known a few parents of young people in my life, and the way that they view their kids' trip to Disneyland is like, it's hard for me. Yeah, it's really hard for me to comprehend. Like,
They worship these Disney movies, dude. There was a
Yep.
whole generation of people. It's like these Disney movies were their childhood. That's all they remember, and then they
Yeah.
show them to their kids, and it's a weird vibe, dude.
Have
It's
you
freaking
seen-
weird vibe.
Have you seen those YouTube videos where the parents reveal that they're taking their kids to Disneyland on camera and see their reaction? They're
oh yeah, I've seen a
start
couple.
weeping out of joy, like it's the best news. I've never heard news that good. The way these kids act to hear they were
It's
going to Disneyland.
crazy.
It is
Yeah,
crazy.
I know one couple that got separated, and it ended up like, and they had a young kid. I don't know how old, 4 or 5, something like that. But it ended up being this huge like bone of contention about whose grandparents was going to pay for the kid's first trip to Disneyland and how it would affect the parents' relationship with that kid going forward if he wasn't involved or she wasn't involved. I mean, it's just, I was like trying to understand the psychology of my friend who's telling me this, and I'm just like, dude, I don't even know how to advise you on this. You need to talk to someone else. Like, your priorities are so screwed up. And I don't want to I don't want to take the time to burst this bubble in that case, at least.
Well, plus like your breakdown of Walt Disney, Jamie, and your weird stuff books. I think it was 1, maybe 2, but the there's so much creepy stuff
I
involved,
know.
not just from Walt Disney, but also like there's a lot of things that are have shown up in the Disney films that aren't really like meant for children.
No, it's horrible. And also Disneyland, there's a whole underground tunnel system surrounding this whole park. I don't know about Disney World, but Disneyland has underground tunnels throughout it, and it's also
I'd be
it's a
shocked
major,
if there wasn't something like that at Disney World.
it's a major human trafficking hotspot. Also, like it's an issue.
It must be. They own all the land, 47 miles. I mean, when you finally get on a coaster that goes, there was one ride that I did like, and it was called, I think it was called Everest.
Yeah, we
The
did.
Yeti
it.
one?
Yeti, yeah.
Matterhorn.
I liked it. It was fun.
I
It was
screamed in it.
it got me excited. But when you go up when you like hit the peak of that ride, you look out, you just see marshland. Like you see nothing.
Yeah.
It's just green.
You can see
So
the
what's
giant ball in the distance, like miles
Whoa,
in the
there's that.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you see.
I have to comment on Epcot because that was actually the most like, that was the most sobering aspect of it all to me because of what they are pushing in that ride. I mean,
which one?
First of all,
Planet Earth.
the
Spaceship
Epcot,
Earth?
Spaceship Earth.
Sponsored by Siemens.
Yes, exactly. And then of course, you come into this a few months ago, Jay, how you end up after you go through human history, these bullet points of human achievement, and then we get to Steve Jobs building the Apple computer, and then from there you get launched through this Matrix tunnel where you see all the Matrix code, and Judi Dench is in your ear saying, "And now we're at this forefront of this brand new revolution, this technology age where we can work with technology to create a better world." And then they show you your future, no matter what options you choose on the screen. This little thing comes up and it says, "Do you want to explore deep space or the ocean?" You say, "Well, the ocean." "Do you want to be in the city or out in the country?" "I want to be out in the country." Well, no matter what you choose, they give you an automated car and you fly around and you have this absolutely integrated AI experience in your life. And then when you get off the ride, they show you these big screens that say the health of tomorrow, the medicine of tomorrow, the transportation of tomorrow. And I took pictures. And for the medicine of tomorrow, they will have personalized treatments, tailoring care plans to each patient's genetic makeup, automated labs mixing custom-made medications just for you. And then you have autonomous cars, of course, and microscopic nanobots repairing cells and rebuilding tissues inside a patient's body, as well as robotic doctors. And that's the future that they're glorifying. I mean, it's right there at the Disney World experience.
That's so gross.
Yeah, there you go. Your whole transhumanist utopia laid out for all the kids to see in all its wonder.
By the way, it was also
nanobots and your personalized medication.
It was also
Epcot Center.
Yeah,
Hey, Benny, they should call it a transhumanist center.
Unbelievable.
It was also
I
the
was
CIA
shocked
that got Walt the land. It was the CIA who got him that. There's been books.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, there's been whole books written about that.
what's the story there?
Do you know what Epcot stands for?
I think we might have talked about it once before, but I don't remember. What is it?
Experimental Prototype Civilization of Tomorrow.
It's the city of tomorrow. Yeah, it's the smart city.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, it was our smart city. It was the prelude to our smart city.
and then
There's go ahead.
Benny, did you notice the big pond in the middle and between the tech part and the world part?
Well, I noticed. Well, there's the big pond that you walk around to get from like each,
Did you see what that was
country of the
called?
world. No, I didn't.
The Pond of Illumination.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, there's also a ride there called Test Track, which is you ride an automated car that is learning how to drive by itself. So you're on the test track for this automated car where it's learning how to drive you around so you don't have to be behind the wheel. And it's making all kinds of mistakes the whole time.
Oh, weird.
Oh, jeez.
That's a theme in a lot of their rides. I noticed, like, oh, this ride is broken. It's part of the
True.
story of the ride, but like, at least 3 out of 5, that was like the joke of the ride. Like, oops, it broke, and now you're spiraling out of control. And
That's true. That's what the Everest ride was all about.
I know. And spaceship, whatever.
Star Tours
Spaceship.
was like that.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Toad's
That's
Wild
true.
Ride back in the day. Was that ride?
Yeah.
Actually,
The Michael Jackson one. Remember the Michael Jackson one?
Oh, dude, Cats and
Awesome.
EO.
Yeah, there you go.
There was an old ride that used to be where Star Tours was. So Star Tours is gone and it's replaced by something else now. But before Star Tours, there was this weird like 60s sort of vibe thing where you went and you got like atomized like into inner space, like you were supposedly made small. And what it was is they made the parts of the ride like big portions of a molecule that you were going by or whatever. And I remember looking at that because I was just, I don't know, I was like chasing stuff on YouTube and I'm like, okay, what was that ride about? I remember it and I can't remember the name right now, but I saw that ride was sponsored by Monsanto, and I'm just laughing at that. Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah.
What?
I think
Yeah, I've covered that.
They've had whole plastic cities as part of Tomorrowland, sponsored by, like Plastic Neighborhood. I mean, house and.
Go watch my video on Logan's Run, and I covered how Epcot and Siemens and Monsanto and all that. Yeah, covered all that.
Crazy.
I was actually at Disney World with my friend who is an Eptot, because his dad was an Imagineer who helped construct or come up with the ideas for the park when it first opened back in the early 80s. So he's one of 30 kids known as Eptots.
That's kind of culty.
Totally trippy.
I guess that's better.
His mom, actually, who I was also with on this trip, her feet were used as the models for the feet of the Neanderthal woman on Spaceship Earth.
Whoa.
Huh.
She got big feet.
That's crazy.
Very small feet, actually.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you go to the animal one?
I did. I went to all four.
Did you like
all.
it?
I liked them all to an extent, you know. I was really disappointed with the Magic Kingdom, primarily because I was wanting to see the differences in the rides from Disneyland to Disney World, and they were identical. They were the same.
Yeah.
So anybody out there who's like, I want to go to Disney World because I want to see what the Pirates of the Caribbean's like, it's the same.
It's
You
not
don't need to
upgraded
save
or
money.
anything?
It's the same.
I thought I was missing out on
It's
something.
the
my whole
same.
life.
It's the same. It's the same. That's the same. Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Haunted Mansion. They're identical to
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Except
Do not
Matterhorn.
waste your money. If that's why you want to go, don't go.
Disney
Oh
World
my
doesn't even have
gosh.
Indiana Jones, which is the best part of Magic Kingdom, California.
True.
So
I second
you're
that.
not missing out.
Yeah. Right. So how was the Avatar thing? What was that like? Was that like just another VR like shaking seat ride, or what's
That's
the deal?
Yeah. It was called Flights of.
Oh, that's okay. So that's the one where the chair like grabbed onto you
Yeah, and you're
uncomfortably.
supposed to be on the back of that bird. And it takes, Benny, did you notice it takes like a full minute and a half at least for them to keep scanning you? Like
Oh,
once
over and
you're
over
in the
again. Then you see
chair.
your like the heat in your body on the screen. They're like
Yeah.
showing you what you look like on the inside.
And the part of the story is that they're like merging you with your avatar, like your
Mhm.
consciousness with them or whatever. But I'm like, this is taking forever. Just start the ride already.
You guys
Yeah.
think that? What if there's like a Pentagon backdoor to this type of stuff, and they're
That's what I'm
getting
saying.
DNA, getting information, getting you to pay for it and fund it?
Oh, dude. Well,
But
like
they've
you
already
said.
they already have it a lot of
Yeah.
it at birth anyway. But yeah, they are. That's what I
Yeah,
Like
no,
she
not
said,
that they
they
already
scan
have it,
your
but, like,
fingerprint.
you can have a high tech thing, or you could get a lot of different data that you wouldn't normally have access to from a lot of people. So there's probably some weird, sketchy science experiments going on with all this stuff
Yeah.
too.
They
Well,
clone
like
of
she
me.
said,
They're
they
making
scan
a
your fingerprint
clone of
and you're in.
me and Jacko.
They may have the real Jay Dyer back there at Walt Disney World right now and have
yeah.
released us a clone that they whipped up.
Yeah, but it is really sad. I mean, there's so many people in like little scooters
Yeah.
riding around,
Boomers.
like really obese
Boomers.
people, and and they're wearing like their, where dreams come true T-shirts. It's just,
Yeah.
it's something really chilling about it.
You know what's
What-
sad too is when you don't like Disney movies, or if you have to have this conversation, say like with your parents or something, and your parents grew up with Disney movies and they have an emotional attachment to them, and you tell them kind of like that you're not, no, we're not really into Disney movies. Like we're not going to show our kid, like we're not going to show our kid The Wizard of Oz or some shit, and you could just see you see them get crushed. Like they think you're judging them, like you think they're so bad, and they feel so guilty. It's really sad how much attachment people have to these stupid fucking Disney movies, though.
Well, it's not just Disney movies. I mean, there's just a total separation between generations, I think, and I only know the difference between my parents' generation and mine, and I know that any time that I say something that goes against what they like really value and have been brought up to sort of be very loyal to, especially like the medical system, things like that. If I say anything that's against whatever their doctor says, like maybe you should look at your nutrition or exercise more, things like that. While the doctor's trying to like put them on pills, my parents think I'm a freak, and it's not just that. I mean, that's just one example that I've brought up before on the show. But like anything that is against, and I'm wondering, I'm curious, like when I get older, am I going to be super closed-minded and
Yeah, am I
stubborn?
going to take everything personally when people have new worldviews? Like, is that going to damage my ego? Like,
is this like an age thing, or is this just a generational thing? I don't understand. Like, because
every generation, though, there's people in every generation that just identify with the system as their daddy and as their god. They worship it like an idol. They worship all those idols that are there. And if you kind of burst their bubble, or if you don't, if you tell them what you really feel about it, they feel judged. They feel like, you just insulted my daddy. Just call my daddy a pussy or something. Like,
Speaking of,
it's my goal to not be that person ever. I want to be open-minded always. And I think it's really important because, I mean, I wouldn't be here talking with you guys tonight if I hadn't opened my mind up, a long time ago to a lot of things, and whether it be the medical industry or food or politics or social agendas. I've been shocked at times when I've come to a new realization, and I actually treasure that. That's what I look forward to. I want to learn more so that, I can break through to, having more knowledge about what's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if you guys ever come visit me here in Washington, we can all go to the Boomers Classic Rock Bar and Grill, which I just discovered down the street.
Awesome.
That sounds great.
They have fried spam.
Oh,
just saying.
They'd love us. They would love us there. We should do a live show there.
I got to take a picture. Send it to you.
Awesome. All right. Hey, if you're joining us late in the show, this is Boiler Room. We're broadcasting live at alternatecurrentradio.com. And we're simulcasting at the Dyer YouTube channel. Get on out there and subscribe to that if you're not already. And I'm joined by Dyer, by Tristan Haggard, by Benny Wills, and Randy J, Jamie Hanshaw, and Lovely Spore here for this 250th episode of Boiler Room. And that's what's going on if you're joining us in progress. All right. Well, interesting talk there about amusement parks. We haven't talked about it in a while, but I don't know. Jay, what do you think? A couple weeks ago, you mentioned something that we've been batting around a little bit on the show, which was, what if smart cities end up being like themed smart cities, like if you could have Star Wars Toronto or something like that?
I thought that the experience would be more advanced than it was. So I'm going to have to hold off on that prediction because it was there wasn't much to this. Like I said, it was a pretty lame setup overall. Very underwhelming. I expected this to be some kind of Westworld type of, whoa, blow your mind. Not that I'm into it, but I did want to know what was going on for, research purposes. And it was very underwhelming. It wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't very impressive at all. So I
Yeah, I
can't
was
say
kind
that
of wondering.
I can't say that I expect there to be any Westworld type situations anytime soon.
Yeah, seriously, we can't even make the roads drivable in this country. How are we going to build a West World or something like that? It's ridiculous. And they got to do it at Disneyland, and even that's lackluster.
They are building Disney Hong Kong, so but it'll probably just be all the same crap.
Well, I know. Geez, that would excite me if I hadn't just heard that everything is exactly the same at Disney World and Disneyland. That's ridiculous. I wanted to check out a different Space Mountain, not the one I was on when I was 18 years old.
Sorry to shatter that for you, but people need to know.
I'm completely shattered.
Yeah, well, it's even lower on our list of places we're ever going to go or just not go now. All right. Well, let's go around the room and catch up a little bit. Benny, I caught your words performance yesterday on your live stream. Noticed you were back and checking out the live stream thing. How'd that go?
Oh man, it was slightly a disaster, but you learn as you go. Yeah, I am starting a weekly thing. I am calling it words, and I might not keep it as a live stream after what happened yesterday. There's just so many aspects of the live stream that could go wrong at any time that might not be worth it. And since I can't engage in the chat while I'm doing it, it may defeat the purpose. So what I'm considering doing is recording my sort of, I guess, performance and then having a premiere and then engaging while we all watch it. But we'll see. I mean, overall, I think it was good. The feedback's been good, but yeah, it was a bit of a stressful situation for me.
Can I ask what happened, or you don't want to talk about it?
What's that?
Can I ask what happened, or do you don't want to talk about it?
I just am having a hard time connecting Streamlabs to my channels, and I can't seem to set up the live stream on my channel and then connect it through Streamlabs and then have it be the same stream, even though I'm using the same key. And then there was this horrible feedback loop, no matter what windows I closed or what I muted, like so much sound echoing over and over again. And then when I finally got it to work and I watched it back, there's just so many glitches. Like the video is not consistent, and it's just buggy. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's a place for live streaming for me, and I don't know if I'm just horribly inept at it or what's going on. But we can talk about it maybe off the show, because I actually would like some of your guys' input on it, because it was rather devastating to a degree, because I couldn't get my one at Joy-Camp going at all. I mean, I had to just scrap the whole thing, and that was really frustrating. And it's one of those things where you have to learn as I can only learn while it's live, because I can't test it out otherwise. And so it was, truthfully, it was pretty embarrassing to not be able to come through, even though I hyped it up a lot on my channel and on my various social media outlets, and then to not come through was really disappointing.
Well, I got the notification from your channel, from the Benny Wills YouTube channel, and I was here at my computer, luckily, so I clicked right in, and I saw you struggling to get that loop thing fixed in the beginning. But I was hanging out in there, and the audience was really nice and understanding, and I think it went really well, and the content was key. I know that frustrated you, and trust me, I've been there too with live stuff. It can be really frustrating when things don't work. I actually last week had a massive technical failure at the end of the show, actually all throughout the show. And it made all these weird audio gaps in the waveform in the recording. So I was like trying to manually repair them, and it was not working out well. So I know how these like live glitches can go.
A half hour of editing. It's still not done.
I didn't even know like what big of a section I was looking at. I was just like super zoomed in. I spent 2 hours like removing all these like packet loss gaps and cleaning up the audio. And then after 2 hours, I zoomed out to look at the piece I had edited, and it was 4 minutes of us talking. And I was like, F my life, I'm out. I'm going to go do something else.
Well, that aside, it is something I'm really excited about, and I'm going to give myself a long leash with it, because I want to find a groove, and I don't want to give up on myself too quickly because it's something I've been thinking about and planning on doing for a long time. And the idea is to bring words to life that in some cases people have never heard, don't even know exist. Like in this one yesterday, I read Muammar Gaddafi's final speech.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah. So no one's ever heard that. I don't think. So reading that out loud, giving people something that they can hear, not just read, and hear this guy right before he was brutally executed by the U.S. military. And also, I read Sirhan's from prison talking about his experience.
That was epic too. I had never heard that. That kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Exactly. So that's great, and that's my intention. I want to bring these words to life that people have never heard, or if they've only read it, actually hear it. So that's the goal, and I want it to be very interactive so that people can send me stuff, and I can keep relaying it in that way on a weekly basis. And I'm really excited about it. So in spite of the glitches, it was the first episode, and naturally it was, Murphy's Law. Everything went wrong. So hopefully I'll just keep adjusting, and it'll grow because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, man, cool. Like Jay said, we're all here to help. So if you ever need any advice or anything, feel free to reach out at any point. And I think between everybody in the room here, we've got a pretty fair set of experience on the live streaming, especially
I appreciate
Jay and
that.
Tristan on YouTube.
Well, all of you guys are my inspiration for doing this because, I've been a contributor for years, but it's always been, infrequent. And I really want to be more active, and watching your guys' everybody here's dedication to their work is inspiring. So I've, been wrestling with the last couple of years, like what can I bring? And this really feels like my, I don't know, something that I could really be good at, and something that's really worth sharing.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Well, keep it up. And like I say, we're here for you, man. So if you need to do some test stuff or get any advice, let us know. We're here.
I really appreciate that. And I'll definitely be, I'll definitely be hitting all you guys up for some maybe, especially the live stream ins and outs. Cause boy, what a mess.
Yeah, it can be a real mess, man. But you'll get used to it. All right. And congratulations also. I guess that's public. That's worthy of public sentiment. Congratulations on you and your lovely bride's wedding.
I'm married. And that's one of the reasons why I've been inactive lately is it was a big wedding, and we took a lot of planning, and we we're also doing so many housing projects and trying to find a house to live in, trying to find a house for my parents to live in, and find houses to rehab and sell. So we're like, our plate's full, and we got married in the midst of all that. So it was been a very busy few months, but it was an awesome wedding. And I'm so happy to be married to my now beautiful wife. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
We're super stoked for you guys.
That's awesome.
Like a really awesome, beautiful, powerful couple.
Yep. Awesome, man. Well, congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody in the chat room says congrats to Benny also. And okay, well, let's see here. Anything else, Benny, while I go around the room here?
The last thing I wanted to say, just because people are saying congratulations. What's funny about announcing that you're getting married to like a fringe alternative crowd is it's one of two reactions. One is congratulations, and the other are like, what are you doing, man? Like, is it a state sponsored thing? You getting a certificate from the government?
Yeah,
like, what are you thinking? Like,
paper?
Is that your handler?
It's such opposite ends of the spectrum. It's hilarious. So they're like, dude, don't do it. She's gonna take everything you own. Big cow. I'm like, whoa. It's hilarious.
Wow.
So I appreciate the congratulations. I'm definitely making the right decision. And everyone and anyone who thinks otherwise can calm down.
Just chill. Conspiracy guys, come on, just chill.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Jay, how about you, man? I caught a bit of you and Jamie's cults breakdown today on your live stream. That was pretty cool. How'd that go? I have to watch the end still.
Well, this was a good week. I did a summation of the 30, 35 plus globalism books talks that I've done. The talks based around the 35 or so elite books, the writings of the elite themselves over the last 4 years that we've done, stretching back a century plus. And that summation stream did pretty well. It's been about 4 or 5 days, about 8,000 views on that. So I appreciate everybody who chipped in and super chatted there. It was a really, really good summation discussion. It's about 3 hours total with the subscribers section. And then I did a little video because of so many people asking about what about eating meat in the Bible and all that kind of stuff, and veganism in the Bible, and I debunked some of that stuff in just kind of a goofy 12-minute video. And then today, Jamie and I did a live stream around some research that she'd been doing on crazy cults. So she read a book on crazy cults, so we did a top 10 craziest cults stream, and we did the first half of the book, her analysis, her take, and then in the second half we will do other crazy cults that we have researched and studied. So there's that, and trying to think of what else is coming up. Well, maybe since it's Spooktober around here, I'll be doing an exorcism stream. That'll be the next Hollywood stream. So I'll do Exorcist 1, 2, 3, and some other spook movies. So that's what's coming up with me.
Nice. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. Yes.
A lot of people have been requesting Exorcist for a long time. So we're definitely going to hop on that and do Exorcist 1, 2, 3, and I don't know what the other. I'll have to pick one or two more because I don't have to throw in some other kind of spooky movie. I was going to do The Order, but it's so bad. It's no good. I'll mention it in passing because it has the Black Pope character. It's a Heath Ledger movie that came out where he plays a sin eater priests that take the demons into themselves, which sounds kind of accurate, I guess, in terms of the Vatican, but. It doesn't. Other than that, it just didn't work for analysis. It was too crappy. So I'm gonna have to pick another possession exorcist movie. I did that one with Negan, where they get the Kabbalah box. I think I mentioned that last Boiler Room, right? Because it had the vegan propaganda in it. The daughter's a vegan, and then when she gets possessed, she starts eating meat. I don't know if that one will work for a full analysis. So definitely the Exorcist movies work. But if anybody knows a good possession movie that is relevant for the Jay's analysis treatment, go ahead and put it in the chat because I can't think of one. I don't want to do Emily Rose. It doesn't have that much in it. There's not much going on there. So if anybody can think of another Spooktober Exorcist movie, let me know.
Yeah, so many of them are just based on The Exorcist, like too closely.
Yeah, right,
it's kind of like.
Was that John Carpenter movie, Prince of Darkness? Have you done that?
Yeah, I did a John Carpenter stream last year. Actually, I did two. I did John Carpenter, like The Thing, and that's the Apocalypse trilogy, which is The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. And then I did another John Carpenter stream last Halloween where I did Lost Boys, Blade, that John Carpenter as well, a different John Carpenter movie. I forget what it was. So this Halloween, although I don't really celebrate Halloween, we'll call it Spooktober. It's going to be still some scary movies, but I can't find another good. You would think there. I already did. What's the one with Christopher Lee? That one was perfect. If I had not done just a standalone video on that one, where he's the head of the cult, the Catholic cult inside the church. It's the sex cult
There's that Keanu movie.
We watched it.
Constantine.
Say what now?
There's Constantine. With
Oh
Keanu Reeves.
yeah, we've got Constantine on the list in this thing, but there's a couple things in Constantine, but I just don't know if it has enough to make it a solid analysis. So maybe there's just not. Maybe I'll just have to do Exorcist 1, 2, and 3. I don't know.
There's a lot to go through on those three movies. You might be able to pull it off with just that trilogy right there.
Somebody says do Fade to Black. Sinister, maybe Sinister. I don't know what Fade to Black is. I'll have to look at that. Somebody's mentioning the Nobody Has Won the signed Golden Girls t-shirt. It certainly wasn't going to be the Boomer Gnostic guy I debated a Gnostic, by the way. last week. Yeah, I don't guess anybody knows another Freaky Friday where you get possessed by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, Jay, Hyperfocal in our chat says, "Tell Jay, deliver us from evil," based on a book by a cop. So there's one. And Yoda Bites suggests Carrie, the classic 1976
We could do
Carrie.
Carrie. I didn't realize that was a Brian De Palma movie, but yeah, we could do Carrie. I think I've seen Deliver Us from Evil. That was it. That's the one with the Kabbalah box. Deliver Us from Evil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might
Gotcha.
mention that one. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to. People are saying, oh, do Stigmata, do End of Days. Those are going to be reserved for a separate Antichrist stream. So I'll do it because there's a bunch of Antichrist movies. And that would be fitting for its own stream. So, but just specifically the possession type stuff. Got to find possession movies.
All right, cool. All right, folks, you know where to send it. Tweet it at Jay Dyer. Give him your suggestions for any other good possession movies. I'll see if I can come up with anything too, Jay.
So they're saying Jennifer's Body. Nah, there's not enough in there for an analysis, really. I've seen it. Candyman. Nah, I don't know. Hesher, you're a horror aficionado.
I'm leaning towards maybe the sequel to crap, I'm blanking on it. I'll have to get it to you later. I can't remember right now. Under pressure. I had one in mind and it slipped my mind. But yeah, I got one or two in my list, I'm sure.
That's cool.
All right, cool, man, cool. Let's see here. Jamie, how about you? You got anything you want to throw in particular you want to throw into the boiler room tonight?
No, we just finished our cult stream, so that was fun today.
Yeah, we're touching on cults that we haven't touched on in the past. Yeah. You know, we've talked about cults a lot on Boiler Room, and so Jamie's kind of taking us through some new ones. We did the Tongs. We did...
well, it was funny because I thought it was pretty light kind of book. I didn't think it was very deep. It kind of just brushed over all of them a little bit, you know. And then reading the comments, everyone's like, "This is deep. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it." So I don't even know when I'm getting like really gross anymore. It's such a bad
We're so desensitized at this point.
I'm like, oh, I forgot people might, you know, this might be the first time you're hearing this
stuff. Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, cool. Well, I enjoyed the beginning part of the stream that I watched, and I will catch the rest
Fallen.
Of that.
By the way, yeah, the movie with Denzel, Fallen. Remember that? That's a pretty good one. That could work. Where Denzel's being chased by, who is it? Azazel, the demon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you not seen?
I don't know if I've seen that.
You should watch that. I mean, it's okay. It's not great. You should watch it.
That one's as the kids say. That one's low key, pretty good. Yeah, it's like under the radar.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down with some Denzel action. I like that End of the World movie he did where he was the blind dude. That was the last movie I remember seeing.
Eli.
Yeah.
Book of Eli. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Right. Okay, cool. And, how about you, Randy J? Randy J, what do you got on your plate tonight? Anything you want to throw in the boiler room?
Yeah, actually, to talk about Epcot had me thinking about that city, Neom. And we all have heard about Neom, at least I think most of us have, that city that Saudi Arabia wants to build in the Arabian Peninsula, like 33 times the size of New York. They want to get outside investment involved in there. It's got they say they're going to put $500 billion towards it. And we've all known about it, and that little PR robot Sophia that they've had talking, interesting name choice. And I just was I seen an article that sort of updates it a little bit, because it's all been concept and sort of pie in the sky talk. But I think the first one of the first major things that they've actually got functioning on there is a an airport. So they put spades in the dirt and got the airport of it at least skeletal and taking flights built. Not some sort of like airstrip in the dirt, but not quite this full fledged you know Denver airport or Chicago O'Hare or nothing like that. But so there's actual you know physical work been done to get that city neon off and going. But just as a reminder, some of the stuff that they were talking about with this mega city, they're talking about, let's see, something called cloud seeding, and I thought it was meant to do with like drone and surveillance technology all feeding into cameras or all the computers tied together to the phones and all that. No, it means like actual like skies in the clouds to where they get the plan is to have it rain there more than it does naturally in that area. That's what they mean by cloud seeding. So they're obviously talking about tech that is there, or they're acting like it's there. I didn't see anything in the article past that, but they're talking about it like they're going to do it. And so, weather control, holographic teachers. They want to make it the e-gaming capital of the world. Let's see. Oh, sort of like what we heard with China. They want to get it illuminated by a giant artificial moon at night. So, I read all of this stuff and I see all this stuff, and I think what they might be aiming for is here's one that caught my eye: glow in the dark sand added to its beaches. I don't know. I think they see Abu Dhabi, Dubai, these other Gulf states with these giant mega cities with the two tallest buildings in the world. I think that the current Al Burj, the tallest building in the world. I think it's in Dubai, and then Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I get them mixed up, but it's there, and then they're building one that's going to be taller than that. Like right now, it's under construction. I mean, these things are huge. I think it's like 187 stories or something like that. But anyways, I think they see that, and they want to do a better version of that because they got more money than those smaller Gulf states, and they see what that's done for them. But on the other side, I think that there's this very top level global sort of collusion thing where they may be in, or they may know of, or preparing for a future where eventually maybe they do shut off the oil, or the petrodollar thing shifts, or maybe they're just diversifying their portfolio in case the world does go that direction and does so aggressively. I think they want to pre-position, or they're in on it to like be there already and be at the first wave of the transition. But either way, there's some interesting stuff afoot going on over there in the Middle East, besides wars.
Yeah, amazing. I've seen these big buildings. If anyone has a Apple TV out there, on the screensaver for it, they've got one of those. I don't know which one it is. It's that central spire, though. They show like a drone footage coming in. It's crazy. I mean, it looks like a neighborhood out of Blade Runner or something like that.
It does. If anyone's, for those that have seen the new Blade Runner, those weird disorienting overhead shots where it's looking steep, like down and steep into like buildings and stuff that's like 40 or 50, 60 stories, but they look small and they're way far down and all that. This thing looks like that, like present tense, and at night, with the colors and the lights and everything, it's sort of eerie and spooky and spectacular and awe-inspiring, and sort of like I said, it's got a creep factor to it though too. Like when you're like seeing that it like spawned out of like nothing. You go, a few dozen kilometers one way, north or left or every which way except for the ocean, and it looks nothing like that. I mean, they do like jeep excursions into the desert. You know what I mean? Like off on the outskirts of this town. So it's something out of nothing, and it's happened in a short amount of time. I mean, it's like become um, Dubai's become like a tourism mecca that literally wasn't there 20 years ago. So I think that for those who are like, yeah, they're just talking this, that, and the other. Well, I mean, that happened in 20 years. So 10, 15 years, it may not be a fully developed, neon, but it could be a very developed one that's just sort of got the world's attention.
Yeah,
eventually.
no kidding, man. It's a trip too. The way the cultural rules of the surrounding areas of some of these places don't apply in some of these cities too. The way they're structured to do business and leisure. But let me circle back to that and pass the mic back to Benny because Benny's got to bail. So Benny, over to you. Glad you're able to join us tonight for this boiler room.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. I got a jet. My wife has been in the kitchen cooking me dinner. Now I'm gonna eat it.
Awesome.
But no, it's been awesome to be back. And Jay, I wanted to let you know that I have been watching the show Twin Peaks. I just finished second season, and I'm pretty immersed in it. And a friend of mine said you have an excellent analysis of Twin Peaks, so I'm really excited to watch the movie and then watch the third season and then watch your analysis because that shit is juicy.
Yeah, I have many analyses of it from all of the episodes up through the movies. So or season 3.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I have so much to say about it, but I want to finish it before I talk about it, and then maybe you and I could have a chat on some platform and talk about it because it's I don't know, it's really revealing and very very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and Jamie, awesome to hear your voice and to talk to you for a bit, and hopefully we can all connect soon.
Yeah, thank you. Great. Have a good night.
Cool.
All right,
guys.
Awesome.
Check out my YouTube channel for all the other stuff that I have coming up down the line.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
I'll put links on the show page to it for you, Benny, and we'll see you again very soon for another boiler room, hopefully.
Yeah. Cool. See you soon.
All right. Cool. There goes Benny, and Tristan had to bounce out too. So thank you, Tristan of PrimalEdgeHealth.com. Pick up their books, join their Keto Carnivore Collective, subscribe to them on YouTube. And same with Benny. You can find Benny at thejoycamp.com and on YouTube at JoyCamp. And Benny Wills. And over to you, Jay.
Some super chats here I'll read before I head out. Is that cool?
All right, let's do that.
By the way, my video is Logan's Run predicted everything.
I recall that one. That's a good one.
If you find that video, I discuss Neom and all that. So I want to put that in the chat for people because I'm sure that that will be relevant. Here we go for you chatters. And we've got Enforcer, $5. YouTube has been promoting that quirky millennial girl in her van. We were just talking about her yesterday. Ellie or something. I forget her name. Is this just another way to market pod life to young people? Yes, actually we covered that a few boiler rooms back. Actually, I think Tristan brought her up and then we covered it because it's the tiny living austerity promotion. Absolutely good point, Enforcer. Scott Morris, I'm broke but I love you. Well, you don't even have to give $2, Scott. We know that you've been supporting us and we love you too. Andrew Thomas Mullins, £5. Thank you, Andrew Thomas Mullins. Much appreciated. Shout out to ATM. John Z, $20. Your knowledge and way of researching and teaching has been a recent blessing. Thank you, brother. God bless and peace be with you. Thank you, John Z. Much appreciated. God bless, peace be with you. Have you or will you ever do a deep dive into George Washington and his ties to Freemasonry. We've done a few pretty deep dives on the history of America and Freemasonry. You'll have to kind of dig into the archives. Off the top of my head, I don't recall exactly which one would be most relevant. Maybe just search J. Dyer, Freemasonry or America or something like that. But yeah, we actually have discussed that many times. But thank you, John Z, for that fat super chat. Much appreciated. All right, y'all, I'm out. Great talk tonight. Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right.
great night, Jay.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
You guys
Jamie,
have a great night.
Night.
God bless.
Good night,
Adios.
Jamie.
Later.
Good night, Jay.
Night.
Bye bye. All right. There goes.